And we're live with a review of the Blake 7 episode, Hostage. Now hopefully Morgan and Jeff didn't feel like hostages having to watch it. So what we...
You totally ruined my joke. I was about to say we were held hostage by...
Well, you know, at one point in a video, like Dario said something like, to me, your secondary temperament might be artisan. And he thought his secondary temperament was idealist. And he thinks mine is artisan.
Do you disagree?
No, I don't know.
So far, you know, you know you better than I do, obviously, but I would say your secondary temperament might be guardian.
I think it's a bit of all of them, really. Because
there are definitely some things that your reason is just because that's the way it is.
No, I agree with it, though. It's just coincidental. There's lots of things that are that. You know me. What about an economics thing? So I go have a gold standard. That's not the thing that is.
I didn't say everything. I just.
Okay, fair enough. Right. I will read out a summary of the highly original plot. Right. What we got here? Killer. Hostage. Right then. Blake receives a message from Travis asserting that, as he is now a fugitive from the Federation, they should pool their resources. He is holding Blake's cousin, Inga, hostage on the planet Exbar, and will kill her if Blake does not agree. Blake goes to Exbar and meets Inga's father, Ushton, who betrays him to Travis. Avon suspects a trap and teleports down with Vila, only for the two of them to be captured by Travis's team of crimos, criminal psychopaths, STPs. Travis announces that he wants the Liberator for himself.
So you're taking advantage of the fact Morgan's not in the room. He would say no, they were too lame to be STPs.
Yes, probably. Travis announces that he wants the Liberator for himself. When Blake will not agree, he traps Blake and Avon in an airlock, and has the air pumped out of it. He gives Vila's teleport bracelets to one of the crimos, Moloch, who browbeats Vila into giving the signal for Jenna and Callie to bring him up. Jenna and Callie are taken prisoner, but overcome Moloch and teleport him into space. Meanwhile, Ushton tells Travis that Inga has escaped, and Travis sends the crimos after her. Ushton overcomes Travis, releases Blake, Avon and Vila, who has been placed in an airlock with the others, and sets off after Travis and the crimos with Blake and Avon. The crimos are killed, and Travis left behind. Servalan, who had been alerted to Travis's presence by a message from Avon, arrives and offers Travis unofficial support in his pursuit of Blake. You know what happened in the final third of that? I think I zoned out. As I described the story. I was sort of reading it on autopilot. And I was thinking, yes, this is what I mean about Alan Pryor. It's an Alan Pryor story. Are there any more Alan Pryors? No, only one more.
Well,
the next one's by Terry Nation.
That about him, and it turned out to be all right. So.
Well, there you go.
That one was much better than this one.
Yes, but Jeff, was this better than Weapon and Shadow?
Oh yeah.
And Jewel. Right.
Well, I don't know about. I don't know. It was definitely better than Weapon. And probably better than Shadow. I don't know about the other one. But.
How much do you give it out of 10?
It's tough because it's like it started out pretty good, and then it went downhill in the second half, like cratered. Where the only good part was the fact that it was ridiculous enough to be funny.
Is there an extra point for Inga being good looking?
No.
Okay.
She looked like she was supposed to be like Indian squaw chick or something. With that outfit. So it was just like, man, if I were like the teacher of the script writer, I'd be like, all right, there would be like a lot of red on the paper, especially in the second half. Like, all right, you need to not be so haphazard. You need to tighten this up. You need to, don't try to stick every cliche in the book in the last 10 minutes of the show. And yeah.
Well, I mean, they were probably still cliched then in 1979. Also, the next two seasons don't have rushed scripts the way that season B does. Anyway, the next one.
I guess I'd have to say about 3.5.
Just about.
Yeah, I started to say 4, but then I remembered a couple other episodes that gave 4s that were better than this, so I got to knock it down to 3.5.
Right now, but what could make the whole experience better, and the highlights of these reviews is not a person. No. Apart from Jeff, it is the maximum power entry. From the comedy book.
There were some good elements in this thing. That's the thing, is it's like, it wasn't like Weapon where the whole thing was just garbage. I mean, this had some like good stuff set up. It just, everything was always set up and then let down, and they just kind of, it got all like, I don't even know what to say, like, yeah.
Cliched, unoriginal.
Yeah, I mean,
Run of the mill.
yeah. See, I already spotted the person that wasn't in the episode.
Oh. Cole Meany.
O'Brien, yeah. Who played O'Brien in like every Star Trek series besides the original one.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be on a pretty penny, that guy.
Well, I don't think he was in Enterprise either, because that one was set before the original. But
yeah,
all the other ones, he was in at least once.
Right. What do you think of that one where I've got the cursor, Jeff?
It didn't feel quick. It seemed to drag quite a bit. But again, it was like, Blake's so inconsistent, and that's what makes it so silly, is when you get into the opportunities for him to take out Travis, because it's one thing if he was like, oh, he's the guy that never wants to kill anybody, but he's not. He's killed plenty of people before. But then the one guy who's like, I don't know, I guess he just enjoys it. He just got like a sadomasochistic thing, He's like, I enjoy screwing with this guy and almost getting killed by him repeatedly. So let's do it again next week.
Any defense I can make involves spoilers. I'll say no more. So I'll make no defense.
The thing is, if you have to be justified by spoilers, then there's your flaw right there. Because it's not enough to think, oh, well, maybe there's some explanation for it down the road,
Oh, no, I'm not talking about an explanation for the episode. This is generally regarded by fans as a poor episode. I mean, it's probably in like the bottom 5 of the 52. Because I recently saw a ranking in the somebody posted a ranking in the Blake 7 group.
Yeah, when I get done with them all, that'd be an interesting thing to look at, because I've done that with Doctor Who and seen how mine compare with other people's ranking.
Yeah. You're probably the sort of person that doesn't want to see the list at the moment because you want your own view.
No, I don't. I would when I got finished.
Right, so we can go through these whatnots then. What do you think of that one in a nutshell?
Yes, as I said, I can't remember if that was while we were recording or not, but I said when we were talking about last time that this is the first title that I've encountered that's a title of both Blake's 7 episode and Homicide episode. And the homicide episode is equally originally titled. It's about a dude who takes hostages, and it's called Hostage.
Yeah, but I think nearly all stories that involve a hostage situation are going to be terribly cliched because it's just been done so many times.
But that's the other weird thing, about is in both cases there was multiple hostages, yet the episode's called Hostage, not Hostages.
Mm.
I mean, if you weren't going to call it Hostages, then you would need to call it Hostage, then another hostage, then another hostage.
I mean, I would think a lot of people, if they saw the title Hostage, go, okay, I won't watch that one now, I know what's going to happen.
And see, what you need to do is have that one called Hostage, and then the next episode is called Negotiations.
Yeah.
Just negotiation.
And the only way you can get a
twist. One's
twist.
called Release. And then the next one.
Now, what I think Homicide would do, my prediction for what Homicide would do is they would have an episode about a hostage, and then they would kill the hostage just to shake up the audience.
Well, I won't spoil that for you.
Okay, so
that's still quite a ways away. So
Jeff, do you want to read out this thing here where it says story?
Not particularly.
Oh, okay. Right then. In an unusual...
That part didn't really make any sense either.
Oh, Alan Pry wrote it. In an unusually expensive and carefree gesture, the Federation deploys 20 pursuit ships to attack the Liberator. Blake and company manage to fight their way through, but take heavy damage. A message from the now rogue Travis, asking to join the crew, quite asked to join the crew, leads them to Exbar, where he has taken Blake's cousin Inga hostage. Avon, meanwhile, has alerted Servalan to Travis's location. There should be an S after that. Bad use of apostrophes. Alright.
No, there's multiple.
Information! Yeah, multiple Travis.
Travis. Yeah, there you go. Like, I spaced out on the part that said she was his cousin. I didn't even ever hear him actually say that. Which was kind of weird because he talked about...
Well, he said, Ushton, he's my father's brother.
Yeah, I thought he meant like that as a figure of speech. Because he seemed very unattached to him. But, and he called him Ashton every time, so... As far as I'm concerned, his name's Ashton.
Okay.
Because that's what everyone on the show called him.
Really? You didn't call him Ushton? Yeah, like I said, it's the way they spoke. They don't have those flat vowels. I mean, I'm not totally flat, but I'm not Shakespearean.
I don't know what that means, flat vowels.
Well,
I also don't know who Myra Hindley is.
Well, Rachel, who's not going to speak, she could do a quick Google image of Myra Hindley and see if she looks like her. In fact, wait a minute, I can show you. Alright then. She looked like a 1960s mutoid. Where is she? Here.
I made the comment at the time that they had upgraded to older mutoid women, because usually they were young.
Yeah, they were more the cougar. The mutoid cougars. Mind you, she's not that old there. Whoever that is.
What's her damage?
Now, you see, my prediction was that Morgan might find her quite cute, but I don't know, I never heard that. Right. You can see how Jenna feels about Blake.
Yeah, all that was just sort of weird and awkward.
What about Squirrely's
Trinity
reaction
should have been
shots?
Pocahontas.
What about Squirrely's reaction shots?
What about him?
I always thought it was... Really made you laugh a couple of times, Squirrely, in this episode. I think it might be growing on you, just a tiny bit. Not a lot, but just
Like a tumor.
Ooh. I'll remember not to say growing on you next time. Then you won't be able to say like a tumour. Or tumour, rather. A tumour. Right.
Why do they why do they put the color drinks in all caps every time?
What, for the colour of the... I think it's to emphasise when it's like... Because it's like, he's having a glass of red, he's having a glass of green. I actually think that's good to do it like that. She's having a glass of blue.
Yeah,
I think it's a good idea to do that.
I just don't know why they put it in all caps like that.
I think it's a good idea.
Right? Why? Why is it a good idea?
Because usually they're putting them together there because it shows the difference. Because it's part of the humour, I suppose.
So it's just random, is what you're saying.
Well, if you want to interpret it that way, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that you haven't given me any other reason, so
That's fair enough.
that's all I can interpret it as.
Yeah.
For some reason, they think all caps is funny, so they just decide to randomly use it for that.
Well, they usually do it together. When they're mentioning the drinks, they'll say someone has a glass, someone has red, someone has blue, someone has green.
I don't get the gween thing either.
I don't know. I don't know why they suddenly did that. Right then. Now on the next bit. Now, the one thing I noticed about this episode, in the action sequence, is the spaceships were very, very wobbly. This episode, very wobbly. A pigeon appears to have flown into Servalan's heart and become lodged there. What? Is that a head? Is that a minx head? Yeah, but like, look at the fact that serving drinks on the ship. I thought that was quite amusing.
Yeah, should have brought like a little meal in aluminum foil. And here's your peanuts, ma'am.
Yeah, that would have been great if you like put the little bit of food as well.
Would you like a magazine?
I don't know about that. I don't know what they're talking about with pigeon. There we go. Right then.
And I'm sure I can't have been the only one that was thinking when Travis kept saying the word that he should have said bird's the word.
Oh. Right.
I wrote that in the chat when that was happening, so yeah, you're not the only one.
Okay.
That's awesome. I can't see the chat.
And that, folks, was Rachel making her debut in these reviews.
Woo,
Right.
Rachel, yeah.
Right.
I
Right,
think
here we
she should
go.
talk more.
Right. Pardon? Yeah. Well, there's no pressure though.
Of course not. There's no pressure in any of this.
That's true.
There really wasn't any pressure on the writer to make this a good episode.
You know, it was a replacement. Yeah, but even
Yeah,
in
more
episodes
ways than
like
one.
this, you still have funny one-liners.
And also it did seem like they had replaced Travis's eye patch yet again with an even cheaper looking one.
A cheap-looking what? Travis? His eye patch.
Yeah. It looked even more fake plastic crap looking than the last time he was on.
Yeah,
It's like they
well,
just sort of like, they pulled off a piece of electrical tape and stuck it over his eye. Like, oh wait, he's supposed to have an eye patch. Here, there you go. It wasn't. It didn't start out as some sort of like it had some sort of electronic implant thing to it. It had powers
yeah,
or something, and now it's
yeah,
just it's a random piece of tape they stuck over his eye.
yeah. It was supposed to be an eye. I think a bionic eye.
Like, man, it's getting worse every time. Pretty soon, then he's just gonna have like black marker drawn over his eye. Maybe it's healing very, very slowly, and then he'll get to the point where he's got that other eye back because it's just,
Yeah, I mean, I like this bit here. Like, you even asked then, like, the only reason Ushton is given a limp is so that it can vanish when Blake's back is turned,
You mean
telling us he's a
Ashton?
bad un. Yeah, Ushton.
You mean Ashton?
Yeah, whatever it's pronounced like.
Yeah, that was random. It was like Ashton was like, I can't get up the hill because I got this limp.
Hey
My
Jeff,
daughter's being held hostage, but got this limp. So
you might agree with where the cursor is.
sweet rapper. Yeah, like I said, it was like a piece of tape stuck over his eye.
Yeah. I think that's like a candy wrapper, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a faggot. What?
That's some sort of British joke, I'm sure. I don't get it, but that's all right.
Ah, that's a clever point there about a full set of bracelets. We shouldn't be seeing it at all, considering two of them are supposed to be down on the planet.
Buddy Morgan said almost the exact same thing. That where's Gan? Oh, he's dead, isn't he? We forgot. That's almost exactly what Morgan said. See, we're on the same wavelength with these guys again.
Yeah, that's true. Fiona does give Blake the cold shoulder for kissing Inga. Ooh, that's a bit cheeky. Perhaps if she put out once in a while, you wouldn't have to go around snogging family members.
Now, who's to say she doesn't? That's in 97 After Dark, the spinoff series.
Yeah, it look. I remember that amused you when he said, "Are you dying? I'm thinking about it." I think this amused Rachel. Thank you. That's very helpful. For the
Yeah.
And then we have. Oh, wrong one. A misclick. A misclicking. Here we go. Ooh, I didn't notice that. The actresses playing the mutoids need to hit those buttons a little more gently. They've pushed the entire planning in itself. Camera 3 is an unsteady hand. Stop giving him the extreme close-ups. Huh. Yeah. I wondered if that was a... I didn't know if that was like a stunt double or something. When they're rolling down the hill. I don't know. Here we go, yeah. If you're going to use polystyrene rocks, paint the damn thing. Shockingly poor. Yes, that's. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did fluff one line halfway through, I think. Yeah, the set does get wobblier and wobblier.
Joe, have you watched the next Homicide episode yet?
Nope. Nope.
I was reminded of it by that what you said about fluffing a line, because there's one thing where I'm not sure, because somebody screwed something up, but I wasn't sure if they left it in by mistake or whether it's just intended to be that's the character was so flustered that they said it that way on purpose in the script.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
anyhow, when you see it,
it doesn't matter if someone flusters, because people do that in real life.
right. That's why I was just curious
Huh?
as to whether or not that's what it was, whether it was written that way.
What, for Jenna?
No.
Oh, in the homicide, maybe they
Yeah.
might do it like that. Yeah. Usually they'll do it like. Usually they'll do it like that. You know, if someone's nervous or something, or.
Yeah, and the planet also, it didn't sound like a buh, it sounded like puh, so it sounded like Expar every time I said it, like EXPAR.
Yeah, I think that's part of the.
Yeah. When they said time units, I was like, which time units?
Yeah,
Could be,
there you go. Yeah.
could be any unit of time. Be there in 15 microseconds.
Yeah. So this is what the DVD is like, and then yeah.
Hostage killer countdown.
What did you think of Jenna's outfit?
It's kind of like a chandelier.
Pardon? Kind of like what? So the sound cut out.
Chandelier.
All right. Right. So that folks is how the cheap but goodish effect of the laser bolt coming towards them. I could murder a relaxant. Yeah, I thought that was a good line. Yeah, Myra Hindley was a British serial killer.
So, Squirrely is, he's still trying to get his drug fix.
Yeah.
Later episode, he's going to be like breaking into the supplies to get his fix and hurting people. We
Have
haven't
you
gotten to the very special episode of Blake 7 where they do an intervention.
have you been looking ahead?
And then he screams and jumps out a window. No, I haven't. Are you trying to spoil
There's the mic. No, there's the mic in shot.
Well, all spaceships are equipped with mics, right?
Yep.
Scanner.
You know how you do that joke, I hardly touched her or never knew her. There's another version of that when someone can say Jamaica. No, she came willingly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Inga should have been like, we must find Chief Running Bear.
Huh. Yeah, see, I don't know if that's. I think that might be a
It's
stuntman.
Gan. It's Gan. He's back.
Do you think that's Gareth Thomas or do you think that's a stuntman?
I already said. I think it's Gan.
Okay, fair enough. I think this bit amused you. I think I heard you being amused by this bit. Who are you, Chili, isn't it? Because of the expression on his face. Yeah, the eye patch is particularly. So Jeff, what's that word that we use in England? The eye patch is
Dodgy?
dodgy. Yes. It certainly looks like that didn't cost a monkey. Not even a pony.
Yeah, it was a right monkey mutton.
Yeah, I thought you were amused by this bit as well, and you believed him. How was I to know he would change his mind?
Well, yeah, I just keep laughing at the ridiculousness of the dialogue. It just seemed like they were kind of having a one-liner contest, but... See, that always throws me with the Vila. This is V-I-L-A. With one L, it should be Vila, not Villa. It's going to be Villa, it should have two L's.
Yeah, I agree.
But, you know, who knows?
Now, when I saw this, I thought STP. I have a high intelligence quotient, but I also enjoy inflicting pain.
Well, you know, as long as they can enjoy taco bowls and talk about how much they love Hispanics.
Ah, very good. Good reference.
What have I done to deserve this? See, there, right there, he inspires a Pet Shop Boys hit. How am I gonna get through? How am I gonna get through?
Yeah, and
They just don't make music like that anymore. Come on, bring back the Pet Shop Boys. Get rid of this garbage on the radio. Back in my day.
What? Well, now you got somebody else you can talk to who likes 80s music. Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah. Well, Gunnar and Matthew had a big hit. It actually wasn't in the 80s, but it was first year of the 90s, so it was pretty close.
Yeah. I suppose when the cousins, they keep their mouths closed.
Kissing cousins. Well, you know, cousins can be like pretty distant, you know. See, I figured he was just
India,
when
she's
he
even.
said my father's brother, like he just meant like his brother in arms or something.
You know, you were talking about the Indian thing, Jeff. Look, she's even doing the how thing.
I know. I almost said how when I was watching it the first time. I was like, it'd be a little too much like Sipowicz.
What, Sipowicz would do that? What's going on?
Yeah, there was an episode where there's a like Native American dude and Sipowicz says how to him. It was like basically anytime somebody wanted to have some kind of awkward, like racially insensitive thing, they just put it a line, gave it to Sipowicz to say.
Oh, I mean, that's mild. That's just ENTP-ish. Even though I wasn't in ENTP, but right. So I'll give folks. I've not read the entry yet, but there's a little bit of background information to the episode about why it was a little bit of a balls up.
What's your rating for this one?
I'll give it like 6 or 7. But you see, I always like the dialogue, and I'm at a different point where it's like people who think it's predictable and stuff, but to me, all the ones are because I've already seen them, and so when you're rewatching things, it's like all the little things and the bits of dialogue. But it's not one of my favourite episodes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say that the overwhelming majority of television shows that you could say the plot is redundant because most of them kind of like, you know, most of them tend to have a lot of the same setting and follow the same basic formula, even though different stuff happens. So it's really more about, well, is what you put within that compelling enough to make it worth watching repeatedly? So some of the Blake 7 ones are, some of them aren't. This one leaned toward the aren't.
Right. There's one of the problems with the production. Hostage faced difficulties well into production. Most noticeably, the original actor cast as Ushton, Duncan Lamont, died 3 weeks after completion of the location filming, necessitating a partial remount. The second choice, Ronald Lewis, proved to have health problems that made him unavailable for the part, and so the role was recast again with John Abineri.
So that should have just made it two different characters. One of them was Ushton, the other is Ashton.
I love Squirrely's performance at Screaming Telephone.
Yeah.
Because again, it goes to show you that I think that the actors are really good. They just keep having trashy writing.
There was one moment in this one where Paul Darrow didn't sound very convincing. On the bridge, like he was saying his line like he was, kind of reading from the Avon textbook. And he didn't really sound. He was kind of mailing in that, but it was only like one line or series of lines. But it was this one part where he just didn't seem like he was really trying that hard. And that one, he was just sort of reading it, kind of.
It sounded like the way he is in the audios.
Well, I guess you could, if you wanted to make a, story explanation for it, you could say, well, Avon really is an android, and he just slipped into his regular android voice, and he forgot he was supposed to sound human for a minute there. It's making weird faces.
Right. So, me? I'm making weird faces? Okay.
Yeah, you didn't realize you were making weird faces? I thought it was intentional.
Oh, yes, of course, yes. Always. Alright, well, I've not read this entry. I probably won't read it through. It'll probably have a massive spoiler in somewhere, so there's not much point. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh,
Join us for our next episode, entitled Massive Spoiler.
Oh, here we go.
That's the kind of thing I could do on Police Squad, there'd be episodes.
Okay, this is what they put. We can finish with this. Although Chris Boucher has improved the story to some extent by adding entertaining dialogue, Hostage remains a story shot through with inconsistent characterization and poor plotting, and with a farcical resolution.
Yeah, really. Like most of the characters should be dead by now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next episode is a good one. It's called Countdown.
Didn't you say that about this one?
No, I never said this one was good. No, I said the one after it.
No, never.
Maybe that was the last one.
No, the last one's really, really good. But that's the season climax. But
No, I mean last as in most recent before this one. Maybe that was good.
Pardon?
Because there was one you were like, this next one's a good one, but then, I always say that or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
But the next one I think you will like. Well, the next one's written by Terry Nation. And the one he wrote before then was Pressure Points, which was the one where Gan died. Right, so.
Cool sounding name, but they didn't really.
Pressure hostage.
Oh no.
Pressure killer. Killer pressure. Killer hostage. Killer countdown. Hostage countdown. Pressure countdown.
So now Morgan's back. Have you got any thoughts you want to add for the episode?
The gimp suit, Power Ranger crony looking scrubs were scrubbish.
Right.
Yeah, he said earlier something about the crimos, or whatever they were called, like were STPs, and I was like, Morgan was here, he'd say they were too lame to be STPs.
how are they SCPs? It's like I thought that because they tried to have like there's like 1 or 2 lines max. They were trying to like characterize all of those dudes as like psychopaths, crazy killer dudes. But in reality, they only used the one guy who they vaguely kind of had something about, and he wasn't really that interesting. And then all the other ones were just extra dudes in some suits to get thrown around.
They seem just as bad as the terrible Federation guards.
They were probably the same guys. Ugh.
That's definitely the TV trope. Is your squadron of heroes has to always come into contact with really stupid and inept henchmen. Otherwise, they'd all die in the first couple episodes.
Well, it's
Super daring and courageous plan, which normally would actually get them killed, like they say that it should get them killed. But because for plot convenience, they're all stupid idiots guarding the place, then yeah.
At least with Chiron, he ends up killing himself. Whoops, massive spoiler. Anyone who hasn't seen the end of Robotech.
what I saw.
Brutal, man.
I downloaded that and I saw an episode and I thought, is this it? I thought it was some animated thing. I thought it was going to be like all computer animated and good. I think it was some sort of naff Japanese cartoon. I thought, this is what Jeff wants me to watch.
Robotech was a Japanese cartoon, which is what anime is, Japanese cartoons.
Yeah, but that was bad
I
animation.
never said it was computer animated. It was done. The original animation was done like late 70s, early 80s, somewhere in there, because it was the Macross. It was the original one in Japan, and then the American versions, was edited and made in the mid 80s. Like, it broadcast first in 85, I think, so it's made like 84, I guess. It probably took quite a while to make, but the original animation.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
Right.